had one copy that was just written in Congo.
Oh, seriously?
And then make the best of it.
Okay.
And then
The CNE thing about telling the MPs, ministers to keep quiet.
right,
Give all the wrong answers. I said, yeah, that was me. Yeah, so we've said this before many times. The party doesn't really have members, they have believers. And people join, and in fact for myself as well, that's the whole reason why I joined the SDP, is because it's very clearly defined ideology. You know, it's very much left of center. It's a belief come to me over the last few days, is that, you know, you go into an election in Singapore, you have to see the election the same way the ruling party sees the election. So the ruling party doesn't see the election as a referendum or as a mandate. It's something it just needs to get over and done with, but it gets about its business, you see. Okay. So similarly, I think the alternative parties need to see elections not as a chance to break through or something like that, but as just a pit stop along the road to true democracy in Singapore. And, you know, trying to slime him, but that didn't work. See, he actually increased his vote share, and this was in a brand new constituency, you know, where people weren't as familiar with him as the people in Bukit Batok. So I think Singapore voters, you know, they're very pragmatic. They need their $1 for 2 trays of eggs. You know, they need all the vouchers, and they need to be assured that those vouchers are going to come, which they're not so sure about because there've been all these veiled threats in there. But at the same time, they want somebody who has the guts to speak up in Parliament. And I think that's what Juan has a reputation for. See, for having the guts and the determination and the ability not to be silenced, you see. And that's what people kind of respond to.
Okay, I don't think I can do this. Is there a point where you feel like you're going to
No, at the moment, no. And part of it is because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. See.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, I enjoy podcasts, I enjoy talking to people. I actually enjoy giving the speeches at rallies, and I enjoy interacting with people. I mean, that's part of the reason why I stay in public healthcare, is because, you know, the people you interact with are so grateful that you actually take time to interact with them. You know, and where I pointed out that actually, you know, I have no doubt that in maybe 10 years, 20 years time, Singapore is going to become a functioning democracy. See, like, you know, we've seen that happen in Korea, we've seen that happen in Taiwan, and actually to a certain extent in Indonesia, although there may be some backtracking. But, and when that happens, see, everybody will come out of the woodwork and say, oh, I believed in democracy all along. I was a champion of free speech. See? But the people who really were there, they will turn around and say, you know, where were you? And we'll be able to hold our heads high, see, and say we were there. See.
decades, and it's still, the job's still not done yet, right? So let's not be under any illusion that with the situation here in Singapore, that things are going to happen. But when change happens, it happens very abruptly. It doesn't follow a linear, straight line kind of progression. Change may come only when, you know, when you're gone from the scene. But whatever you do, you lay the groundwork for the next generation, for the next step. And that cumulative process may get us over the threshold. I beg your pardon, your elections commission, what we call our elections department over here, subsumed under the Prime Minister's office. Let it come out. International best practices, have it as an independent commission, right? In all my years of being involved in politics here, I've never been invited once to universities, to radio stations, to TV stations, just to be able to speak about some of these issues. That's why I come back to this again. There must be some apprehension, there must be some kind of fear in there on the PAP side, and that's why they still have all these controls in place. Yeah, I think if anything, Singaporeans are beginning to, the electorate, you can see they're beginning to mature, and they're asking questions like, you know, is there equality, and what is inequality doing and is affecting them? Why can't we have a more compassionate society as opposed to, oh, nobody owes you a lunch? I think everything that they've tried to say about me, and, you know, as before that, people literally thought that I was insane, because Lee Kuan Yew at some point said that I was near psychopath, and that those kinds of very poisonous kind of rhetoric really, and as I said, you know, what they said and painted of you at that time tended, because understandably, you know, people were getting one-way information, and there was no way you could counter that. But then very soon I was able, when the advent of YouTube, you know, Facebook and so on, that I was able to present, and just talking very normally like what we're doing right now. I've had people come up to say, hey, you look very normal, you sound very normal, and you know, that's the kind of situation where I was boxed into. But as I said, you know, you're able to do your own videos right now, unfiltered, and people are beginning to see, hey, you know, this guy, at least he doesn't talk nonsense. I was going to address this point, but that moment, I wasn't crying. It was just, I just felt very tired at that point, and you know, I was just basically taking on my glasses. I was pressing in my eyes this way just to nurse it a little bit, but at that moment, you know, it was just juxtaposed, and I mean, obviously I was devastated. But just to clarify this point now, yeah. But you know what was going through my mind, as I said, it was obviously this whole idea that we again missed it by this much.
Basically, do you think that they would come?
Yeah, as long as this thing up here continues to tick, I think that can go on for a few more years. And I think, you know, in terms of, okay, you know, I cannot do the things that I did 30 years ago, and I used to run marathons and stuff like that. But you know, your mind continues to age.
But are they on board with the vision and the plans that you have?
You know, when they were little, it was like, you know, like all kids are, you know, I was in jail, for example, and my kids would come and visit me, and then they don't sense it, they'll be jumping up and down, just saying, hey, the new place, I've never seen this place before, and then having their fun and everything. But as they grew up, then, you know, the couple of times I went to court, and they shackled me, you know, both my leg chains, and they came, they saw me, and they looked at me, and then I said, what's going on, Papa? And then they kind of sense it, and then you explain to them, you know, they get it. And then now that they're all grown up already, they know the issues, they see what I'm trying to do, and everybody's very much on board.
You think,
oh gosh, so many times, you know. I come out, and then the car, aircon broken, right? So hot in there in Singapore sun, right? You just wished you had. And then this BMW drives up beside you, and that guy's, you know, nicely ensconced in his car. You do every now and then to say, you know, it'd be nice, right? To have that kind of comfort, right? Luxury even, right? But then you realize that, but do I want to trade place, and I have to live in a society where I cannot express myself, and I cannot be able to chart my own destiny, and then try to take society with me, rather than be in that where the masses are. No, hand on heart, I don't think I would have traded, neither would I think about it right now.
Okay.
I'm happy where I am.
These are very good values that have to uphold, and for me, it's more of duty than a personal ego, right? And I think through the past 10 years, I can see that people start to accept SDA again. As you can see, the result is keep going up, and this is nothing about shortcut.
SDA, unfortunately, is also one of the parties.
I disagree. We are on the tier 2. Okay, those who have named that is at tier 3. We hit more than 30%. So anyway, also it's a very disrespect to all the political party to name them as mosquito party. Look here, if you think you are better, then please come forward to contest. But the people, you think the people come forward to contest for fun or have money to contest? They do have a function, because if they don't contest, there will be many walkover, and PAP will, those heavyweight have more free time to go to Hougang, go to Aljunied and help their colleague to campaign. So we are these are the parties that keep them occupied. You ask, giving me a choice. I'm a good grassroots leader. I'm a doer. I'm an organizer. I'm very comfortable with that kind of position. But then the situation development until such that I have no choice. I have to be taking over the chair and then lead the party. Come to this day, I cannot hold back myself. No, imagine what song I contest. Nothing was wrong song, my wife support me. Why have to go after her and make her stress and make her miscarriage? And why want to go to my company, jam out the website and demand my company to sack me? What's wrong? I'm just doing what I'm doing, and you think that you support that party? Go ahead, help them to campaign, canvass. Right? You don't have to do something to their opponents. Before the election, this election, I told my son also, I said, I'm going to contest. Because last time my son is young, now he's 13 years old, I say, whatever you read in the social media, don't go and rebut them or challenge them. You know me, your daddy, what I have did for you. You say, stay out. Keep yourself away from the public.
They come back and the voters give them the chance. I mean, people may call us an ordinary team, which was also one of the focus in my campaign, in my rally, that we need to remember that the heroes are ordinary people who have done extraordinary things, and I hope that they will be given a chance to do these extraordinary things. You imagine, like for example, in 1991, Lau Tia Kiang was 35-year-old at that time, a teacher turned politician. I mean, who would have considered him to be outstanding at that time? I think the important thing is the party has enough good people. So there's enough good young people that I'm so encouraged this round. So it's like the 前枪后浪推前浪. So the waves of the Yangtze River, the new wave will push the old one out. But that's a thing in life, lah. And we are happy to make way for younger people to prove themselves. No, I think sometimes I have people outright telling me in this campaign that, look, 10 MPs is enough, lah. How much more alternate voice do you need? So, I mean, of course, it's not representative of everybody's views. There are some people who feel that we do need. But I think it's really hard to undo more than 60 years of the PAP being in power. That I want to join this side. Right now, it's very challenging still. The honest thing is that anybody who joins us have to expect defeat. I mean, I went through it 4 times. No matter how good you think you are and how well you think the ground may be ready, you have to expect defeat.
Okay.
And you have to just be able to try to come back again stronger. I'm very sure. I'm 100% sure that just look at the evidence. How the PAP refused many things prior to 2011 is the loss of alginate that make them switch. If you look at the policy stance of the PAP, they'll say they know, they've thought about it, all that. But I'm very sure it's the shock electoral loss in 2011, and to prevent further losses, they are forced to change. My own parents' objection. Right. My father literally pleaded with me. I mean, he's a Chinese teacher, so he used Chu Chu Ni. I mean, it's so heartbreaking to hear that from your own father. Yeah. But I told him cannot. I already surfaced in public. I'm already in the news and all that. I'm going back on my commitment. I can't do that. So I just be careful. But even my own wife was very apprehensive because she really thought that whatever we have built, whatever business and all that, is going to be destroyed because the other side is going to come so hard. But she became a very fervent supporter after that, and so did my dad. People who still wants to continue, and know that 5 years from one election to the next is always the loneliest and the most difficult when you have lost. So you need to continue walking the ground, and the volunteers will dwindle because everybody gets busy. You just have to keep pushing yourself. It does get quite depressing, especially when sometimes there are not enough people walking with you.